Hi, I'm Shaun, and alongside Rory Baxter and Dr. Alistair Smith, we've explored the role of landmarks in the statistical learning of large-scale environments. We all engage in environmental search daily, though objects are rarely distributed evenly. Such distribution is probabilistically defined, while effective and efficient search requires sensitivity to spatial statistics, minimizing the wastefulness of resources by searching in locations of a low likelihood the target will appear. Engaging in large-scale search requires one to make use of both egocentric and allocentric spatial information. Smith et al. 2010 and Baxter and Smith 2020 found that when egocentric and allocentric information was available, participants could learn the spatial contingencies of an environment, but this was not the case when egocentric information was either unreliable or not available. Related literature has yielded equivocal findings lacking consensus over the role of allocentric information and environmental cues in the learning of this spatial information. The present study seeks to introduce a single landmark into an environment and explore its role in the learning of these spatial contingencies. Participants were tasked with finding a target column within a fully immersive virtual environment. Targets were not distributed evenly. Targets appeared on the cued side of the array during 80% of trials and in the uncued side on the remaining 20%. To limit access to egocentric information, the starting position would pseudo-randomly switch between one of a possible two locations. Experiment 1 was conducted in an environment void of additional visual information outside of the search array. Experiment 2 included a landmark orthogonal to the starting position, while Experiment 3 included a landmark adjacent to one of the starting positions. If participants were able to learn the probabilistic queuing effect, they should have made fewer inspections during queued trials when compared to unqueued trials. There was no difference in the number of inspections made between queued and unqueued trials in Experiment 1, while there was also evidence against a difference between Block 1 and Block 2. Conversely, queuing was found in Experiment 2 when the landmark was orthogonal to the midline. Participants made fewer inspections during queued trials when compared to unqueued trials, though again, there was evidence against a difference between Block 1 and Block 2. When the landmark was adjacent to one of the starting positions, findings mirrored those from Experiment 1, though Bayesian evidence was anecdotal, preventing definitive conclusions in favor of the null hypothesis. No interaction was found in any of the three experiments. When no landmark was present, participants exhibited no indication of having learned the spatial contingency, replicating previous findings. A landmark positioned orthogonal to the midline assisted participants learning, though this was not the case when the landmark was adjacent to one of the starting positions. This suggests that the presence of an external landmark enables participants to learn about the spatial statistics within an allocentric framework, perhaps by providing a stable point at which they're able to orientate throughout exploration of the array. Though it's also possible that participants could use two egocentric strategies using a landmark as a point of reference. Findings suggest that the presence of a stable landmark is not sufficient in assisting the learning of a target spatial distribution. The position of the landmark is also key in facilitating learning.